Hi traders, it's time to record the new weekly forecast for the trading week starting on May 20th. In the current trading week, the data from US was not impressive. So finally we got lower inflation numbers and also weakening retail sales, which means the chances are getting brighter in the upcoming months that US Federal Reserve is going to lower the rate of interest, which may weaken dollar further, and it should be bullish for gold and stock market. So let's see how the market unfolds in the upcoming week. So let's start the charts, and the first one is going to be Australian dollar versus US dollar. Let me clean up, and here I am on the weekly time frame. I'll turn it into a line chart, and I'm going to mark the important areas of support and resistance. So here we go. Based on this high, it's an important resistance. The next lower high is here, and the pattern here is, now if we notice, give me a second. So the pattern here is, it's been continuously making lower highs. So this one is double top, again a lower high, again a double top, so very crucial resistance. Then we have a lower high and lower high. Same time I can see that we have lower low formation, so it was creating a sequence of lower highs, and this is your turning point. So because after this low it has not printed a lower low, instead it started making a higher low. So it completed higher low, and from the top it's been making lower high. So it was a triangular formation, and currently the price has reached to the upper boundary of the triangle. Now I'm going to use a trend line tool to complete this triangle. So I'll start from this high. I've connected high and lower high, and from this low I've joined the higher lows. So triangle completed, and if I zoom in, I don't find that buyers are tired. So I can see that MACD histogram is still rising. There is clear bullish momentum on the weekly time frame. Now let's move to lower time frame, that is daily. Now based on daily, the pattern is, so here we got bullish divergence. So this was the turning point after bullish divergence. Then we got the sequence of higher lows, low, higher low, higher low. It reached exactly to the resistance point, the falling trend line of the triangle, and then we got the correction. So we started getting lower lows, and the last two lows, again comparing the lower low, the last two lows have formed bullish divergence, and we also got the breakout structure. So we got the bullish structure here, and I see that MACD histogram is clearly rising even on daily time frame. So buyers are in full control for AUD US dollar, weekly bullish and daily bullish. I can easily plot Fib extension here, connecting from the lowest point, joining the first high and the higher low which was formed after retracement. Now the first barrier based on Fib extension is at 0.6732, and this is going to be the first resistance, and the next major resistance is coming around 6900, and based on Fib extension, the next resistance on the basis of Fib extension would be at 0.6961. So let's move down to lower time frame, that is 4H. Weekly and daily are clearly bullish. Again turning to a line chart, and we have double bottom here, followed by higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low. We also have a sequence of high, higher high, and higher high. Now we got some bearish divergence here between the last two highs. Higher high formed with histogram bearish divergence, and even divergence coming on MACD lines, but the sellers could not take the control. So the BOS is here. So this level was supposed to be broken if sellers would have got control, but we did not get the breakout structure here, so which means the pattern remains bullish, and I can expect at least 0.6732. Now I'll be turning to candles, and I'm going to plot fib extension on the 4-hourly bullish cycle. So this is the first high in place, retracement completed, higher low. I just need to change the color of extension so we can make it green here. So we have already reached to the 100% cycle fib extension, and the next one would be 1.61, that is 6825. I'll trade cautiously around this resistance area. We may get some short-term correction here, coming back to 0.618. So in terms of price level, this could be 0.6602, and then continuation to the next level. But the plan is to buy on the dips, because weekly and daily both are aligned, clearly aligned in the bullish direction. So final verification on 1-hourly chart, turning to line chart, and it's definitely bullish. So I can see the pattern here. So here we got low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low in conjunction with higher highs. So I'm expecting one more push up, and then a bearish divergence would be developed here on MACD lines, and I can expect a short-term pullback towards 0.618, and then the resumption of the bullish trend. So right now we are very close to resistance. I would not recommend to get into a buy trade at the current price. Wait for this discount, wait for the pullback, and then you can join the buyers. Now the next instrument is franc versus Japanese yen. Starting from weekly, I need to clean my chart. So here, all right. Now based on weekly time frame, Swiss franc versus Japanese yen, I am going to start from the weekly low, and here I need to apply fib extension, the first one on the weekly bullish cycle. Then I can go to the next one starting from this low. I'm directly moving to this high and connecting again. Let's use a different color for the second cycle. So if you notice, we have fib extension overlapping zone confluence here. So this is now major support, because the current price is higher than these two overlapping lines, so which is now working like support. And I would also like to turn it into a line chart, zoom out, and I want to connect the rising channel here. So I'll start from the lowest point. I'll connect to the first higher low and the high in between. Then we need to clone. So second parallel channel also crossed in the bullish direction. Currently it is exactly outside the top boundary of the second rising channel. So when it has crossed, so it's time to plot the third channel now. So currently price is somewhere in the third channel, at the entrance of the third channel. I can also see that we have an alternative channel working here, connecting from this low to the next higher low, and I have completed the channel rising parallel channel inside the bigger channels. So based on the second rising channel, which I have plotted inside the bigger channel, I can see that the price has reached to the upper boundary. So it is facing resistance here, and I can see some short-term pullback or maybe a sideways consolidation until it remains higher than this overlapping zone, which is the price level of 165. Some sideways consolidation, and then it may continue in the upward direction, but definitely it is now being blocked by the insider second rising channel. Now coming back to daily, now I want to zoom in, and if you see that we got higher high formation with bearish divergence, and this divergence is also formed on histogram and MACD lines together. So weakness in the buyers. Currently we are sitting very close to the rising channel boundary resistance area, and I can see that buyers, they made an attempt but they could not clear the previous high. So weakness in the buyers, and histogram has also started slowing down. So I can expect some short-term pullback, which can be in a consolidation manner or sideways correction, retest, and then continuation. So short-term plan is bearish for CHFJPY. Now I'll turn to 4-hourly chart. Based on 4-hourly chart, I can see if I plot Fib extension in the downward direction connecting to the first low and then the lower high formed, the target is 167.95, or in round number we can say 168, which is coming from the downward Fib extension, this area. So CHFJPY is looking good for selling. If I check the short position risk and reward based on the entry and current price, stop loss above this lower high, target with the next Fib extension, so we can easily achieve the risk and reward of 1.7, which is good. Followed by 1-hourly. Even on 1-hourly chart, I can see that sellers are in full control. It's clearly making lower highs and the momentum is bearish. Even based on histogram, the momentum is bearish. So CHFJPY is looking good for the short-term sells. Now the next instrument is pound versus New Zealand. I'll quickly move to weekly here. I've already plotted some extension lines. Let's clean these extension lines and I'll start afresh. So based on this weekly chart, if you notice, the pattern here is continuously we are getting lower highs, lower highs, lower high, lower high, and lower high. The next major lower high, and this is your lower high equal low, sorry, lower low equal low, then low and lower low, and then finally a lower low. So after this massive downward price action, I can see that buyers are just trying to regain the control, but the momentum is not so great. So I can plot Fibonacci retracement starting from this high to this low. So I'm going to plot retracement starting from high to low, and let me zoom in. So it crossed a retracement of 50%, fall back again, and now again this area is acting as a major resistance. Now price bounced in the downward direction from 2.10 and it's moving downward, and the histogram has also turned bearish. So weekly chart is looking bearish for pound versus New Zealand. Let's move to daily now. Now based on daily chart, the idea is that after getting high and lower high, the buyers could not create a higher high here, and I can also see that if I zoom in and compare the highs here, so we have higher high formation with bearish divergence on MACD lines and histogram, and the sellers have completed the BS formation. So I can expect that price can travel to the next major support, which is around 2.04. So if sellers continue, they may take the price back to this major support around 2.04. Now let's move to 4H. Now based on 4-hourly chart, I can see that the pattern is still bearish, and here we have high, then we have lower high and lower high. We also got low, lower low, and a new low, but I can see some slowdown in the bearish momentum, and when I'm comparing the wider one I can see bullish divergence is building up, so we can expect some short-term bounce here and then continuation to the downside. So only on 4-hourly chart I can see that sellers have lost the momentum and there can be some correction. But again, when I'm looking at 1-hourly chart, I feel the sellers are in full control because it's still making lower highs, lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, along with low, lower low, and lower low. And the buyers are not showing any strength here. So maybe in the coming week, if New Zealand gets slightly weaker, expect some correction, at least to the previous high or the next high, and then continuation downwards. So the plan would be to trade on the rise, to join the sellers on the bounce. So pound New Zealand is looking bearish. The next instrument is gold, and it's running perfectly as per our bullish plan. I've been continuously covering gold in my weekly videos, and I'll start from weekly here. I've already plotted the important support and resistance lines here, and based on the latest trend coming on weekly, I'm going to plot Fib extension starting from this low, connecting to the first high and joining with the higher low. So it has crossed 2272, and the next major level is 1.618, and the price would be 2559 or 2560. And I do not see any signs against the buyers on weekly time frame. It's continuously making higher highs on the price chart and higher highs, and lines are open on MACD. So no signs against on the weekly chart. Let's move to daily. Now based on daily, the momentum is ultra bullish, and I can see that price is clearly rising. It has crossed the previous high, the resistance. MACD lines are bullish, histogram is bullish, so no problem. So buyers are maintaining the control. Now I'm going to plot one more extension based on daily bullish cycle. I'll start from the daily low, first high and the higher low after the pullback. We just need to use a different color here to identify the daily cycle, and the next main target is 2500, the round figure psychological mark, and also coming on the Fib extension level of 1.618. So easily we can target 2500 to 2560 in the coming days or weeks. Let's quickly move to 4-hourly chart. Now based on 4-hourly chart, the major support is formed at 2300. So this is the main support on 4-hourly chart. I can also see the pattern of higher lows being formed on 4-hourly chart. We have low, higher low, higher low, and higher low. So until this higher low is maintained, I'm talking at this low, until this higher low is maintained, that's 2372 followed by 2331, the buyers have no problem. So they still remain in the control of gold. I'm going to use one more Fib extension now, and I'm going to plot it on 4-hourly chart. So I'll start from the lowest candle on 4-hourly chart, the recent most. I'll connect with the first high and the higher low. So currently we are sitting at the 200% extension area, that's 2413. The next level in sight is 2447, 2468, and ultimately 2500. So on the shorter time frame, I've given you the targets like 2447, 2468 followed by 2500. On the higher time frame, I'm still confident that it is going to reach 2560. The invalidation would be a break below this rising trend line or a close below 2358. So until gold remains above 2358 or it closes below this rising trend line, the bullish plan remains intact. And finally, I'm going to cover one stock index from the Asian market. So this is Hang Seng, the Hong Kong stock index, and I want to explain that it's looking ultra bullish. So here I've marked important horizontal lines. So these are important areas of support. It breached, which was a false breakout, bounced up quickly, retraced, found support again on the same levels, and now it's clearly rising. So it has formed divergence here based on candlesticks. And what I've done, I've plotted on monthly chart, not on monthly, on weekly chart, I've plotted the first extension, bullish extension, by connecting the lowest point, first high, and the higher low which is formed after the retracement. So currently we are very close to the extension level of 161, which is also coinciding with the previous high resistance area, so which is also a round figure psychological mark of 20,000. So I'm expecting that from 20,000 we may get some correction. It may bounce down at least towards this 100% area. So the plan should be to wait for this drop and then join the buyers, and ultimately I can see that the next level in sight after 20,000 is 20,952, and finally I'm looking at 22,500, the psychological round figure number. So Hang Seng is looking bullish on weekly. Let's see what's happening on daily. Even on daily chart, I see that the market is clearly bullish. The pattern is bullish. We have higher highs, higher high, equal highs, and now higher high being formed in sync with higher lows, and no divergence. The histogram is clearly bullish. MACD lines are bullish and rising. Let's move to 4H. Now based on 4-hourly chart, I can see some slowdown is building up. Histogram is slowing down. It may complete bearish divergence when it will touch 1.61 or psychological mark of 20,000, from where I'm expecting some short-term pullback. And the plan would be to join the buyers around 18,500 with the ultimate target in the short to mid term as 22,500. So we can plan our medium term target as 22,500. So this is the plan for the upcoming week. If you want to add or if you want to ask the technical analysis of any of your favorite instrument, please feel free to contact me, and have a nice and profitable trading week ahead. Bye bye.